many inefficiencies in terms of the process. So those inefficiencies were attacked through lean construction, but then also when the processes were stabilized, the next step is to digitalize them. And there is always a acceptance problem when you try to implement a software in construction projects. Artificial intelligence is a very good technology that can help a lot, but in the context of construction, this technology helps mostly architects, engineers, and people in higher hierarchies, which work mostly with computers, and they can profit from the automation or optimization of their processes, digital processes. The real challenge is on site. The people on site work mostly with analog processes, and when you try to introduce them this kind of technology, the same happens. So they reject it, they are not interested to use it, and it's their not fault. It's just because the processes are built in an analog way. So the first step is to digitalize and then to use these more advanced technologies. With AI, we were trying to extract the data from these paper-based invoices, for example, and to digitalize them. The problem was that the people on site was rejecting to use a new kind of app to do that. And that's why it was very important for us, because we realized, okay, we don't need to pavement a new way, a new road. We can pavement the road that they are already using. We realize AI is the second step. Firstly, you need to digitalize and structure the information. Okay, so we created Valoon in order to gather the information from the chats. So Valoon is collecting information, organizing it, and presenting it ready to use to the person who needs this information.
Welcome to the Platform Pioneers, a show about the bright minds behind the world's largest digital platforms and the stories of how they built them. I am your host Kurosh, and together we'll uncover the secrets behind creating, scaling and managing some of the most successful platforms out there. Welcome back everyone to another episode of Platform Pioneers. Today I'm really excited. I'm talking to Diego, who's a co-founder of Valoon. Valoon is an intuitive all-in-one solution for communication, control, documentation of all kinds of projects, specifically construction projects. It increases efficiency on both sides, on site and in the office. But maybe without further ado, Diego, maybe could you introduce yourself, give us a bit of a brief overview of your journey prior to Valoon and how you kind of like came up with that idea.
Sure. Thank you very much, firstly, for your invitation, Serge. Yes. Well, my journey started in Chile, and from there, when I was studied civil engineering at the University of Chile, and in my master thesis, I had to improve a software dedicating to manage construction projects. So after this thesis, I was promoted by the company who was developing this software to be the product manager. So I was able to implement these improvements in this software. And then also I was working as consultant in lean construction for that company too. And this gave me the opportunity to see with my own eyes the challenges that are happening in construction projects. For example, the lack of digitalization.
And maybe what are these challenges kind of like what did you see firsthand?
Yes, many inefficiencies in terms of the process. So those inefficiencies were attacked through lean construction, but then also when the processes were stabilized, the next step is to digitalize them. And there is always a acceptance problem when you try to implement a software in construction projects. So the people on site don't want to use software they want to build and not input data in any kind of app or software.
And kind of like maybe walk us a bit through the specifics of kind of like of your time at university, and kind of like how it led to actually founding that company Valoon that you have done so far.
Yeah, afterwards, I moved to Germany. I continued working in consulting. And then in 2020, I started at KIT, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. And then we were working in a research project. At that time, it was the biggest research project on topic implementing artificial intelligence in construction in Germany. So we were a huge consortium of technology companies from one side, and in the other hand, many construction companies. And all of these companies were trying to realize or to figure out how to use artificial intelligence in their processes. So this project was 3.5 years long. So we could experiment a lot. We tried many frameworks, many contexts of construction projects, and we realized something similar that I already saw in Chile in the implementation of software. And it was that artificial intelligence is a very good technology that can help a lot. But in the context of construction, this technology helped mostly architects, engineers, and people in higher hierarchies, which work mostly with computers, and they can profit from the automation or optimization of their processes, digital processes. But the real challenge is on site. The people on site work mostly with analog processes, and when you try to introduce them this kind of technology, the same happens. So they reject it. They are not interested to use it, and it's their not fault. It's just because the processes are built in an analog way. So the first step is to digitalize and then to use these more advanced technologies.
And maybe because that is an extremely interesting approach of AI, maybe to make it a bit tangible, a construction site, a construction project, like what were these one, two, three very analog processes that you observed, and how can AI help to make it more efficient? Because we've talked on this program a lot about AI. We have seen using
Yeah.
AI in marketplace constructions, in vertical
Mhm.
SaaS constructions. Would be very curious to hear kind of like how it can how from a research perspective, like the first ideas came to fruition on how to apply it to a frontline worker, so to speak.
Yeah, I can give you a good example. In Germany, there are, and also in the whole world, there are still many paper-based processes. For example, on construction projects, they receive materials, they receive the printed invoice, and people on site needs to take a photo of this invoice and send it to the central, yeah, or to the headquarters, for example, or to storage it in paper form. So with AI, we were trying to extract the data from these paper-based invoices, for example, and to digitalize them. So that was one of our prototypes. The problem was that the people on site was rejecting to use a new kind of app to do that. They were using just WhatsApp, for example, to take the photo and send it to their managers. And that is very in the cornerstone stone of our development, because we realized that they are not willing to use no software. They're actually using one, and it is WhatsApp and the messengers.
So,
They
so like they don't want to install yet another app. They don't want to use yet another app to kind of like communicate take pictures, etc., so to speak, because in their mind they have a universal app already with WhatsApp.
That's right, because they already have something, they already use something, and they don't want to shift to another app. And mostly because they work not just in one project. In their career, they change in many projects. Sometimes they work also in parallel projects at the same time. And if they would have to download a new app for every project, that would be a huge waste of time. That's why they said, hey, we already have a solution. We already do this in this way. It's digital. Please don't change that. And that's why it was very important for us, because we realized, okay, we don't need uh, to pavement a new way, a new road. We can pavement the road that they are already using. So they took this idea and we said, okay, we should formalize the use of WhatsApp on construction sites.
I mean, that's incredibly smart, because you kind of like erasing a bit an adoption risk already, because people are using already the part of, or a large part of the UX that's gonna then try to increase efficiency.
Yes.
Taking that example, a construction worker, I don't know, having a purchase order, or like a quality statement, a statement of work, or whatever, taking the picture. How's AI coming into play, and taking a picture and sending it? How's AI gonna kind of like increase efficiency on that process?
Well, we are not using AI directly in this process, yeah, because we realize AI is the second step. Firstly, you need to digitalize and structure the information, okay? So we created Valoon in order to gather the information from the chats in WhatsApp. Valoon interact with the workers on site as a digital agent, a chatbot, and it organizes information from the chat. So with Valoon, you don't need to create a group in where 15 people is talking and sending pictures, and then some one of them needs to download everything in the office. Valoon is doing that for him. So Valoon is collecting information, organizing it, and presenting it ready to use to the person who needs this information.
So it's kind of like an bringing efficiency and probably traceability and case management of an event, where you would use WhatsApp in a workplace, so to speak.
That's right. That's right. Actually, our approach is to separate the topics in chats and convert them into tickets. So a ticket has a start and an end, has a creator and a responsible to process this ticket. Yeah, to solve a problem, to process an invoice, a material request, etc. You can define a deadline for that topic, and so the information from the chat now is structured in many tickets, so you don't need to make archaeology in your chat history if you need information from the last month. You already have everything in Valoon in like a table, in a list of tickets, and you can consult that information anytime. Just using filters, using a search engine, and that's it. In a couple seconds, you have the information classified and ready to use.
Very interesting, kind of like as a core feature. Once you kind of like put together as a B2B platform, like what other features did you feel were necessary to be a kind of like relevant feature set for frontline workers, so to speak, a construction worker to use, or was that already sufficient? Like how do you
Yeah.
think about the go-to-market, about the parties using it, the features necessary?
Yeah, I would say another big problem that we saw on construction project during this research project was the language barrier. In Europe, the construction projects are like the modern Babel towers. Yeah, the construction workers speak many different languages, and when they need to communicate, yeah, sometimes they can in German or in English, and that implies a huge challenge. So that is also a key feature of Valoon. We translate the messages from the workers in the given language that you want. They can interact with this chatbot in any language. They can translate the chatbot interactions into their mother language. They can write the issues in the chatbot in their language, and they are translated into German, English, or the language of the manager user, and so they can communicate in real time.
Gotcha. And I think this is something where kind of like the language capabilities of AI also helped tremendously. If you kind of and that's maybe a good point in time to switch to kind of like the next phase. If you think about the go-to-market of such an innovative tool, kind of like an enablement tool, a communication tool. What are and were the challenges, kind of and what type of first customers did you gather? Like where were the pain points so the biggest, so to speak, in your target persona that they used it directly? Like, was it very large companies? Was it were it like very complex projects? Like would be curious to see like who are the first users and how did you think about the go-to-market?
Yeah, we are targeting like mid-size to larger construction companies. We realize that the most companies having troubles with digitalization are the small and mid-size, yeah, because the larger companies, they have resources and they have organizational structures to digitalize them, but the mid and small size, they are struggling with that, and that's why they are always they are actually using, for example, WhatsApp to communicate. They're using Excel to create their tables of issues or contact lists or reporting, etc. And that kind of processes can we support very efficiently with Valoon, and that's why in the first step, these are our target groups. So these are the kind of companies that we can help the most, but also we can also help the larger ones. There is a very interesting study made here in Germany by InfoConsult, and they realized that 72% of construction sites in Germany are using WhatsApp for communication. And
It's a high number for
55,
Germany, I would almost say, which is notoriously undigital. I would rather
yeah,
see that they have been using like paper, kind of like pieces of paper or phone.
yes, and it's an impressive number also considering that in Germany the people is very aware of the data protection issues.
Yeah.
So it's a huge number, and they are using in more or less 55% for documentation. So they document progress, they document invoices in WhatsApp. So if you compare this kind of number with the current digital tools for construction, which have 4 to 3% of the market, 72% is huge. So WhatsApp is the most used construction tool in Germany.
And kind of like looking at this target group, small to mid-size. Small to mid-size is what, 50 people, 100 people, somewhere in that range. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, even less. There are companies with 10 people, and yeah,
Yeah.
and
Like when you look, and that's always very important in a go-to market, kind of like, what are they trying to achieve? What is the ROI on a use case for them? Is it like I want to boost auditability, documentation? I want to boost efficiency by X%. How kind of like how are owners and users thinking about using such tool?
I think they see the value in the time that they can save using our tool. I can give you a concrete example. A customer of us is installing fire protection equipment, and they need to register every equipment who was installed. The process currently was they took a photo, they sent this photo with the quantity of this equipment and the location. A person received this photo in the office, needs to download and the photo and upload into an Excel and put quantity and location of the equipment. So this whole process took 5 minutes for every register. In a normal project in 1 year, they made 5,000 of these kind of informations registers. With Valoon, we reduced this 5 minutes to 1 minute. So if you do the math, 5,000 multiply 4 minutes in 1 year, you can save 20,000 minutes. If you transform that into working days, are more or less 41 days. So with Valoon, you are saving 2 months of time to a project manager. So that is the value that we are providing. So they can use this time for other activities which are not just sorting information, because Valoon is sorting it for them.
Correct. And I mean that's a significant boost. If you kind of like think, because I would say construction tradesmen, etc., have been in the past, I would say 2 to 3 years, really, I would say a target group for digitization. There have been a lot of new innovative companies, some starting more at the back office. Guys like you, they start directly at project management construction. How do you foresee, and in discussion with your customers, additional features? Do you always want to stay, I would say, at the front line, at the project? Do you see yourself moving more back office, kind of like the stored data, sorting it, putting it into project management tools, putting it then eventually into invoicing, etc. To HR, you name it. Like how do you vision kind of like your go to market from there?
Yeah, I would say right now the focus is to digitalize the channel from on-site to the office, because that is a less digitalized channel, the communication channel. If we took a look into the future, the vision of Valoon, is to offer a holistic solution. Right now, we are collecting the information. We are allowing to collect information better, quickly, and structured. In a couple of years, our customers will have lot of label information, because they are going to send pictures with descriptions and categories. So this information can be used, for example, for AI training, and then can profit for that. And this kind of training to create an algorithm which understand the context of a customer is not going to be so useful for the people on site, but for the people in the management level will allow them to predict and forecast construction progress, and also to identify quickly elements in photos or in how do you say, in the data itself. So as I said, firstly, the focus is on the workers on site. Long term, we can also create a lot of value for the people at the management level. And also, we want to connect Valoon to a bigger software like a SAP or Microsoft Dynamics for construction project, which manage not just issues from on-site, but from the whole company. So Valoon will be the link between on-site through communication and these bigger systems.
Okay, and that makes fully sense, kind of like to become an really integrated centerpiece of the work, because obviously all of these ERP systems, they are just a reflection of work. If you kind of like tackle the project itself, make use
Right.
of the data of the documents that have been scanned and have been
That's right.
photographed at some point, that's an even stronger position. Maybe a last question, because you kind of like know both worlds. You know Germany, you know the European world, but you have also worked in South America. Does it play the adoption, the usability of tools? Does it play a role how kind of like people and cultures are using WhatsApp, are prone to use digital tools, and will that also impact, for example, your go-to-market? So, for example, will you want to try to go very rapidly to South America because you see that you can have even a stronger edge there?
Yeah, actually, we have already customers in Chile. I activate my network and there, and we could acquire some customers, mostly of the mining industry. So not just construction, but also other related industries. And yes, culturally, it's a little bit different. I would say that in Chile they use more WhatsApp and they are less concerned about data protection issues. But
It would be difficult to be more concerned than in Germany, but yes. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, still here in Germany there are also openness to use this tool. They realize that it's the way to go because WhatsApp and this kind of messenger, not just WhatsApp, we are going to connect this to Telegram, to Threema, to Microsoft Teams, etc. So we are going to be multi-channel. These kind of tools already have won a lot because they are the preferred tool of the users. Users with 60 years old are using it normally. They are power users. They can send videos, voice messages. Even my grandma can send me videos. So
Correct.
we don't need to fight against this rejection,
Yeah.
this lack of acceptance in software. They already have it.
Perfect. I mean, and it makes total sense, and yeah, we're all very curious to see and to see you guys take off globally. Obviously, Diego, we are now at the end of our time. First of all, thank you so much for joining me. I think it was extremely interesting, kind of like to have a project that was kind of like born in research and then applied from a very high-tech view to something very concrete, which is kind of like enabling construction projects and kind of like the worker on site. Thank you so much for joining me. Extremely valuable insights, and yeah, best of luck.
Thank you very much again for the invitation, and yeah, happy to share some insights of Valoon.